Hi everybody, welcome to CloudCoin Live. It's been a very busy week as usual. The RAIDA has done very well. It's, I think, been up almost 100% of the time. And we now have 3 programmers that are working on creating some new software. They're each doing the same thing, but since we have 3 of them, that allows us to deploy 3 different programs out there without any kind of worry about one of them having some problems. And so that's going to bring the number of expert RAIDA programmers in the world to 5. And that's not a lot, but they're, one's in South America, one's in Asia, 2 are in Russia, and there's a few in North America, so that's good. Client software, we have tested the Founders Edition. We found like 1 bug in the versioning. I think they're done with that now, and we're going to have that next Founders Edition out very quickly. That will have multi-detect, which will allow it to detect, I believe, 400 notes at one time, which is much faster than the past editions have been able to do. And then we're going to start working on Consumer Edition, and we're going to get that out in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. We've got somebody that is getting ready to do an iPhone application, and he's got to learn Swift first, but we're going to try to do another iPhone application, and we're going to redo Mac. So that's all in play right now. The liquidity, we've got a new website up called cloudcoins.com, and cloudcoins.com is a place where everybody in the world can buy Cloud Coins. It's a central location. We've got it set up so that it works with checks right now. And xyzbuys.com should be up next week or 2. That's all coming along very well. As far as the BitShares go, we've run into some problems. I myself personally don't want to be involved with the BitShares exchange, and the reason is because there's all kinds of laws and rules, and I try to reduce my risk to that kind of legal pressure at any chance that I get. That way that I'm pretty much just the spokesman, and I can disappear and nothing happens, and there's nobody that can blame me for doing something. You know, everybody breaks some, I think that's 5 federal laws every day at least, and I just want to try to reduce my risk of being arrested. So we have other people that are doing that, and basically the problem is that they don't know how to create a wallet, and so we have to create this thing called a BitShares wallet, and we've had a few people show us or start showing us how to do it, and then right in the middle they stop showing us and they disappear. And so if you know how to create a wallet and you're willing to actually stay through the entire process and teach us how to do it, because we don't want to actually just have somebody do it for us, we want to know how to do it ourselves. And so if you know how to do that, then I'll get you in touch with our programmer, and we will have you help us do that. Besides that, the software is pretty much done, I think. We've got it so that people can upload their cloud coins and they can download them once they trade for them. We just need to be able to talk to that wallet. What else is going on? Our SDKs are being finalized and being published on our new website. We did have a new website put up, and that is cloudcoin.global. It has a totally new look, and we're still just building it out, getting all the details, working on that. Let me see here. there was a question of when are we going to start marketing, and we've decided to go ahead and reformulate this company that we got, RAIDA, and we're going to make it so that it can immediately start raising money from friends and family. We're going to do a friends and family raise. And by the way, there's some SEC rules, and I'm assuming that there is no SEC rule that overwrites the First Amendment of the Constitution and tries to restrict my freedom of speech. So I will tell you that we're going to be telling our friends and family about this possible raise, and they're going to be able to buy stocks in that company, and that will help marketing a lot, and it'll also help liquidity and a lot of other things. So that's something that we have not put a big emphasis on, but now we're going to push that into high gear, and we're going to start getting ready for that. Let me see here. As far as the operations goes, our support company, the company that does support, is breaking in different directions. Unfortunately, there's a lot of different owners there, and they don't get along, and they are breaking up, and that is causing us to have to change our support situation. So we're going to have a new email address. We've already got that. It's cloudcoinsupport@protonmail.com, and we also have a new phone number, and unfortunately I can't remember that, but we're going to start putting that on all of our websites, and we're going to have new people that are going to be doing support. We're going to start probably with myself personally. I'm going to do some support. We're going to have our programmers do some support. Then we'll try to get somebody full-time. And by the way, if you know somebody that wants a work-from-home job, and it's about 20 hours a week, then that support job, we do want you to be able to be technically competent, and we want you to be able to speak good American English, or at least some kind of good English. I guess Australian and British would be okay. Let me see here. So that's the basic status of our consortium. There's a lot of good questions this week, and I'm going to try to answer them all. I've got a lot of them, so hopefully I don't miss any. Let me see here. Okay, here's a question. When will marketing begin? And of course, we have to get through with our liquidity phase. That means that we have to get on some kind of an exchange. We have to get it so that people can buy and sell on marketing websites such as stores, online stores. We have to make sure that they can trade in between themselves with using the trusted transfer, and we have to make sure that we have the SDKs ready. So all that stuff is almost done. I mean, it's pretty sad that it's not done yet, but it's just on the verge, and we're just putting the finishing touches. And so we anticipate in marketing hopefully pretty soon, but we want to make sure that everything's ready before that happens. Let me see. What is the update on the consumer software status? So I've been told that that's going to be released within 2 weeks. And I've been told that the founders is ready to release within days. What is the estimate on the exchange and corporation? Well, we've got this bottleneck, and the bottleneck destroys everything. It just is like a giant boulder in the road, and that is that we have to create a wallet. And we have to, and unfortunately the instructions for doing that apparently are not clear. If you know how to do that, you want to be a consultant, you want to work with our programmer, if you can help us get rid of that bottleneck, that would be a great help. Let me see here. There's some questions about the market cap and how many cloud coins there are in circulation. And I try to stay away from that market cap question, because if I say something wrong, then you might try to make some kind of investment decision on that. And sorry, I didn't pay attention to details, but I will see if I can have one of our people post that somewhere. I don't even like to post it, because we don't, until we have an exchange, we really don't know what our price is. We can tell you how many are in circulation, but we really don't know what the value is. Let me see. A question. Ask Sean to explain if CloudCoin is 100% decentralized. People are saying that because Sean creates CC and it starts in a mint, that CC is not 100% decentralized. No one wants to answer this question every time I ask it. Is Sean able to recall CloudCoin after releasing it? Okay, so that's the first question. That was actually two questions. The first thing is Sean able to recall CloudCoins after releasing it? Okay, so keep in mind that I cannot force anybody to take CloudCoins. So I can't like give you CloudCoins and then you own them. What I have to do is I have to offer you CloudCoins and then you take possession of them by changing all the password or pwning them. Now once you've pwned them, there is no way that I can take back your CloudCoins. Now what has happened in the past is I will email somebody their CloudCoins, and those CloudCoins are sitting on a server and we have to move the server. And so what we do is we say, oh, well, they didn't take them, so we repwn them, and then that that person loses his CloudCoins. And that's happened only in cases in which we've given people 5 free CloudCoins. And so if we give you 5 free CloudCoins and you don't take ownership of them, well, you missed your opportunity. But once they're out there and you take ownership of them, there is no way for me or anybody else to recall them or that would be the equivalent of double spending, and that would absolutely destroy the currency. There'd be no sense in having a currency if we could do that. Now the question is, the first question was about is it 100% decentralized? Well, we've got to explain what that word is. When CloudCoin was created, I created them all on a server in my own house. And so that was, of course, over 2 years ago. And they certainly were very centralized at that point. And then what we began to do is began to recruit people from all over the world. And we took that data and decentralized it and sent it out all over the place. We also put the minted CloudCoins into a mint in Switzerland, and we gave control of that to somebody else. Now, and we also gave ownership of those coins to other people. And so I'm not the only owner of CloudCoins. Now, when we get into centralization, there's many different aspects of this, and what we're really concerned about is something called systemic risk. And so the reason why we don't like centralized anything is that it gives us systemic risk. Systemic risk means that one thing can go wrong and the whole system crashes. So for example, we could have it so that if we had all of our CloudCoins on just one server, then somebody takes over that server and everything's gone. So that's a problem. So with any kind of information system, there's basically 3 types of centralization. There's the centralization of the data, there's the centralization of the administration of the data, and then there's the centralization of what might be called the planning and the standards. We see this with Bitcoin, and believe it or not, Bitcoin has these administrators, and they have to figure out how to make changes. And some of them decide we're not going to make any changes, and other ones are quite active, and they are so active that they create what are called forks. Now a fork, you might have heard of CloudCoin splitting. We talked about that before. We've decided CloudCoin is not going to split, but Bitcoin can split too. Of course, they didn't call it split, they call it forks, and that's where you've got a whole bunch of people that disagree on the algorithm or how it should be changed. And we saw that problem with CloudCoin, so we created a consortium which does basically the design and the control of the protocol and what should happen. Now the data itself is decentralized, and so it's much more decentralized than encrypted systems like the blockchain, because not only do we have it on thousands of servers, we have it on tens of thousands of computers and cell phones and USB drives and all over the place. The CloudCoins themselves hold all the data. Now the authenticity system is also decentralized. It is the logic behind CloudCoin. And when we want to change ownership of a CloudCoin, we have to send it to 25 different coins. I'm sorry, 25 different clouds. These are run by Sentinels, but what you might not know is that these clouds are designed to have 32 servers at least, or 32 clouds of servers at least each. And so that process is something that's ongoing, and we don't have all of the servers set up, but when it's set up, it's designed to have 800 servers. And these servers all have different data, on them. They all store different little slices and what are called shards of the data, and it's highly decentralized. So the question I have for people when they say, hey, CloudCoin's not decentralized, well, I ask them, is the DNS system centralized? Because the DNS system is the database in which CloudCoin was based on. So CloudCoin looked at the DNS system, and then we used that as the starting point. And I don't think anybody's going to tell you that the DNS system is centralized. The DNS system is a system that has been up since 1985, never gone down. It's like the blockchain. China would love to control it and steer traffic to different websites, and it is absolutely decentralized, and so is CloudCoin. But when it comes to the leadership, right now that's pretty centralized. Now that could change. We don't have to have the consortium. The consortium could just disappear. There could be some other group that starts up that wants to do things different, and so it's possible that there could be different leadership. But right now, I think it's very important that when we see a problem that we're able to fix it, and if we have some idea of improvements, that we're able to improve those quickly. And that brings us to an example of that. So we have a system in which the cloud coins, we don't want them to be permanently lost. So how do we know that they're lost? Well, the only way that we can know that a cloud coin is lost is if we have some kind of date in which, if they haven't been used, then we assume that they're lost. And right now, that's 2 years. And people don't like that. If there's a complaint that I get, they don't like the idea that after 2 years, their cloud coins are going to need to be re-authenticated, because we have to re-authenticate them, which only takes 2 seconds, but they just don't like that idea at all. And so we have come up with a different idea, and we're working on this idea, and the idea is that within the authenticity numbers, on the last 4 bytes, we can use a hash of the serial number and the user's email address. So their email address doesn't actually go in the number, but just a non-reversible, unencryptable. It could not be unencrypted because it's non-reversible encryption. We actually throw data out. It's lossy, and it can't be unencrypted. And so it can't be used to prove anything in court, but it could be used to say, hey, there's a similarity here if the people were actually able to use quantum computers and some other high-powered computers. So, I mean, it is possible, but that would allow the user to choose if they want to embed their email address, and then they could recover a lost cloud coin anytime that they want to. And so with this new thing, well, it's a new idea. We've got to get that out to the RAIDA. The RAIDA spread all over the world, run by different people. How can we force them to do it? Well, we can't, but we can say, hey, look, this is something that we think is really good, and it's going to make CloudCoin worth a lot more. And the people that are part of the RAIDA are on board, and they want to see CloudCoin go up, and they've agreed with this. But it's conceivable that we could come up with some idea that they don't want and they don't want to do. But this email is going to make it so that we can probably push back this date to 5 years. And that would mean that if you lost your cloud coins, you wouldn't get them back for 5 years unless you embedded your email address in there. But that might make everybody happier and feel more comfortable with that system. So we'll have to see what the public's reaction to that is. We certainly know that people don't like the idea of it being 2 years, although it's not universal. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions.
I don't have any more questions.
You don't?
I do not.
Oh, I might have some here.
You addressed Brian Cooper.
So my opinion is that CloudCoin is not centralized. And another thing I did not talk about is something called systemic risk. And so the whole point of talking about centralization, and the whole reason that we want our monetary systems to be decentralized, is so that there's no systemic risk. Now, we have the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve is guarded by the United States government and armies and air forces and navies, and you're not going to be able to just walk in there and shut down the printing presses and get rid of everybody's money. But with Bitcoin, it's not the same way. Governments attack it, and they've already attacked it. The state of California has tried to get rid of Bitcoin miners. They failed, and they've given up. And of course, we had e-gold in California. The California government just came and shut it down. And so that's a big issue. And so what is systemic risk? Well, systemic risk is any one little attack point that if you attack it, it's going to bring the whole thing down. And so with CloudCoin, we have to make sure that there is no systemic risk. There's not a single thing that everything has in common that can bring everything down. And we have done a very good job at that and are still improving and reducing our systemic risk. Let me see if there's any other things. Okay, that's all of the questions that I think I have. And so I guess we are going to call it a day. And I appreciate you.
CloudCoin now accepting payment at VOMI. It's in the newsletter.
VOMI. VOMI?
I'll read it to you. Let's see, it says here, CloudCoin continues to gain new users and new avenues for spending. The Virtual Organization Management Institute and its related entities now accept CloudCoin for payment, including leadership training, certifications, seminars, and other events.
Oh, so that's just like an announcement? Okay, so I'm sorry I don't have that on my cell phone here.
Oh, it's okay.
But it seems that we've got an announcement, and we'll make it next week.
Okay.
But it looks like there's a virtual organization.
Virtual Organization Management Institute is now accepting payment with CloudCoin for their actual teaching programs, so you can do leadership training, certifications, and seminars, and pay with CloudCoin.
Okay, were they able to hear you?
I doubt it.
Okay, so we'll have some kind of announcement next week, but it seems that there's some organizations that are taking CloudCoin as payment. That's very good.
That's all we got.
All right, well, thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you next week.